we've got two competing theories.
Okay.
I call them theories in inverted commas: evolution and design. The question is, how do we determine which is the correct one? Because they can't both be correct. So what methodology do we employ in order to find out which one is correct? That was the original. And then this gentleman, I think, correctly to a point, pointed out that science doesn't give us the why. We can infer a why, but it doesn't give us a black and white why. But it does give us potentially a reasonably good black and white how. And I think that's where they were having a difference of opinion. So how would we go about finding out which is true, do you think? Because it's both in the physical world, so we can use some method. What would you suggest we do to try and come to an agreement?
In terms of finding out which one's more true, it's probably a red herring, right? Science will tell you how things are working, right? In order for you to say why are these things working in a certain way, right? You have to look at outside of science.
Yeah, but that's not the question we're asking. We are asking, how did it come about? That's essentially your question, yes. So you were saying
the Big Bang.
No, evolution. Stay with evolution. So how did we get here?
Okay, fine. Evolution. How did we get here?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, how do we find out? You're saying we are designed.
The truth right now, because for me, the way that I would answer it's got one answer. Evolution was the will of God, right? And that came from the big, and so was the Big Bang and everything else.
Yeah, but then you're mixing up different things, aren't you? What does evolution talk about? It doesn't talk about origins, does it?
No. Evolution is all about the how. It's never addressing the why.
Correct. So, but your how is
how, right? I would agree. Then I would say the best that I can see is that fine. Life originated in the water. It came out, right, and they grew legs. Fishes grew legs, and they went on. That's the best kind of inference I can take that I've seen. Yeah. But that would not address the why.
I agree with you, but that wasn't the question we asked.
And it doesn't address any of the concerns that religion puts forward.
You see, one of the things that I think you jump a little bit is when you ask the question why, because you automatically infer that there must be a why, in the sense of like a global why. So a simple answer would be survival, wouldn't it? But that wouldn't be enough for you. You'd want something overriding.
Honestly, I want things to be as simple as possible, right?
How much more simple is it than survival?
Survival isn't the answer, because people do things that are contradictory to survival.
Like what? I mean, we're all here, we're growing as a population, so yes, I agree with you, there's some people who do silly things, but as a population we can't be. Yeah, but that could take 60 years for him to die.
It's not survival though, is it?
It might be making him happy though, and that might help him.
No, he's right. No, it's the monk's game of smoking, that's fair enough.
No, I mean,
you shouldn't smoke, that's fair enough.
Well, I don't know about that.
Simple answers to a very complex question here. You're in the wrong part of town, brother.
I came here for a walk, to be honest.
No, that's good.
Then I just stood for a bit.
Well, that's a metaphorical thing. Again, you're interpreting what I'm saying very correctly.
You're interpreting what I'm saying. I came for a walk. I'm more of an ideological.
That's fair, but if you're looking for simple answers to the question of why, I'm sorry, you're not going to find one, no matter how far you go. It's a very complex question.
What's your perspective of the why?
I'm in no position to talk about the perspective of the why, and even if I could be, I don't think anyone here would understand.
You're saying that I can't find the why here, but you're in no position to talk about the why.
No, I'm not. I'm not an authority.
Then why did you bring up?
For a very simple reason. No, I brought it up to address a fundamental fallacy in the way you're approaching it. You said very specifically, I'm looking for simple answers. You're not going to find simple answers.
I like things to be simple.
Okay, but you're not going to get something that you like.
Oh, of course, I understand that.
Then we're in agreement. Then we're in agreement.
Is this one of us lessons of life? Like life is simple?
No, I'm just addressing. Again, we're running around in a circle. I just told you, if you're looking for simple answers, you're
not in the right place. What would be the right place?
What would be the right place? Well, A, physically, not here.
Okay, what would be the right place?
The right place to abandon all concept of your identity as a human being, and to abandon everything that you know about reality, and stop thinking like a person.
So like living like a monk, like in a mountain cave or something.
If that's what works for
I don't know.
great.
That's what you're saying. Like, abandon everything, let go of everything, let go of like material.
No. You see, this is again your interpretation. It's what works.
You left it quite open.
Am I living like a monk? I'm a software developer. I'm not living like a monk at all. And it works for me because I can dissociate who I am, my ego, from my perception of the world.
You were telling me to step back from everything, leave everything
Yes,
around that.
dissociate your ego from your perception of the world. That is, in a sense, everything that you associate.
Can you do it? Can you do it?
No, it's not what monks It's very hard. It's very hard. And can I do it perfectly? No.
This is theoretical, speaking about theoretical things.
And so are you guys talking about theoretical things. You're asking about why. That's a theoretical question.
More about the why. So you said you wanted a simple answer, and I guess you posit a God as a simple answer for that, as to why we are here, as opposed to how we got here.
More than just a simple answer, it's a conclusive answer as well, and it's one that keeps coming about and about and about, regardless of time and age. The idea and the idea that is God is just existing. It's just always.
Yes, it's an idea, you're right, but we haven't demonstrated or justified that that's a good reason or a good idea. So it makes us feel good because we kind of, there's an airy-fairy.
Like how the evolution of humans makes that guy that was standing up here feel good.
Do you mean how the evolution got, the mechanism, or what do you mean? Because you're equating two different things. We can't investigate God, we have to infer God in some way. With evolution, we can understand quite clearly the mechanism, the methodology. I agree it doesn't give us the how, the why. But I'm saying to you that the why is maybe you are presuming that that's a presumptive question.
In terms of evolution, we're quite a bit in agreement on evolution.
Yeah.
Right? The mechanics of evolution is being worked out.
I'm glad to see you do, because there's still a lot of people here who deny it outright, who ask for transitional fossils and all that sort of stuff.
Even personally for myself, I need to see more information.
But you seem to be open to it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally there. I mean,
I was wondering where you've gone. You were on a
right? When it comes to humans and stuff, is a different fish.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But in order to ask the question, I think it goes before evolution and into how existence came about, how the universe came about.
I'm with you on that. We can investigate the how. I think the why is presumptuous. We're not at the why stage. You know, I agree with you that science doesn't give us the why.
When we get into that realm, into that conversation,
Yeah.
right, we need to be careful about how we position the reality that might take place around creation, because we might be like, oh, it should have been created in this way, it should have been created in that way, when the laws of nature itself could have been extremely different than what they are right now.
Yes, but that's you're positing something that hasn't happened, and we haven't got any reason to believe it would. We've got one universe with the laws we have. That's what we have. And I think what I notice with religious people is they try and roll back the clock and go, oh, what if it was different? Or why is it this way? Or why are the laws the way they are? And I think that's we can investigate that.
I mean, okay, in terms of that line of thinking, there is one thing that I've noticed, that there is a lot of forethought into. Like, I mean, if you were to build a universe, right, to sustain life, this would be it, wouldn't it? If there's only one universe, one chance of doing it, right? You want all the factors to sustain life to be correct, and that's what this gives us.
Okay, the only one problem that we have is we haven't determined what life is. It could be that this version of life isn't the only life that one could have. So if you tweak the knobs and you change the parameters of the universe, unless somebody can define the ultimate life.
Wait, is it a guy called Penrose who said, who looked into this, and there was like not only him but other scientists that were saying that if any of, like, for example, with the strong gravitational force,
That's right.
gravitational force was off by like the slightest fraction, we wouldn't be in existence. If the speed of light was off by the slightest fraction, right, it wouldn't be able to sustain life the way it is, right? There's a lot of, for lack of a better word, fine-tuning in place, which to me it's like winning the lottery over and over and over.
But that's why I say to you that what you've got to be careful of is assuming what you are, and those people that make that assumption is that we're the only sort of life that could arise, and I think that's a mistake. So it's fine-tuned.
If gravity wasn't in place the way it is, cells pressure wouldn't be in place the way it is, cells wouldn't be coming together, life wouldn't be around. I mean, it's pretty.
No, all you mean is human life or life on Earth. No. You see, until somebody can demonstrate that there are certain parameters for life.
Yeah, but now you're talking about the unknown, right? Well, one thing we know for sure, right? These parameters allowed life to occur.
Life as we know it is what you mean.
Life as we know it. What
Yes.
we don't know about, let's leave it aside.
No, but it's important because you are claiming.
No, because there's a lot of confusion that comes in from that. Right? We could talk about unknown this, unknown that, unknown this. I think, who is it? George Bush saying that we've got known enemies.
It was Donald Rumsfeld, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
the
someone
known,
saying-
unknown, known, yeah, all that stuff.
It will lead to a lot of confusion.
I'm not talking about the unknowns, but what I am saying is to counter your claim that it's fine-tuned. You are saying that it's fine-tuned for, let's say, human or animal life on Earth.
Carbon formed life.
Carbon, well, we don't know that for sure. Let's just say human life, because there could be life
I thought all life that we've seen is carbon based.
that we've seen. I mean, it's a big universe. There could be life that's non-carbon based. We just don't know about it. But we are speculating.
It could be air based. It could be.
We are speculating, I agree with you. But the reason we're going into this route is because there's a claim being made, not specifically from you, but from religious people, that is finely tuned. And that's the problem I have. Yes, it's finely tuned for us, but we don't know what would happen if it was finely tuned slightly differently. So we can't infer that it was designed just for us.
There is an amount of inference that we could logically make, right? Like I was saying, if gravitational forces were off, right, cells wouldn't even come together, right? Life wouldn't be here, right? Now we can say it might be a different life would occur, but what we can definitely say is we wouldn't be here, right? And that's what we're saying. We're saying, because from a religious perspective, we're saying that the way that this is, right, is the way that everything has come about, right, is to give us life, not anyone else. No, not a different form of life. This is a life that God willed to put in place. So hence, this is the fine-tuning that God put in place.
Yeah, I could equally say that the universe came about through a chance mechanism with all the parameters, and we came about as a result of that.
That would be ridiculous.
No, it's not. No.
Probability-wise, right? Like, we're not going to say, you know what, there's a chance that pink elephant will appear right in here between me and you. We just
Yeah,
want to
but
say
that's not a good analogy.
No, that is an analogy because probability. Probability-wise, right? We won't even entertain that. You just almost didn't even entertain the idea because it's apparently not a good analogy. But the truth is the chances are so minuscule, right? That it's just, we won't even entertain that conversation. But the same thing we said.
You can assert that, but that's not a fair thing to say.
No, but
You just outright say, no, we can't entertain it.
we can't entertain it because the chances are like so minuscule.
No, but you don't understand how that whole probability thing works. You are just looking back, running the clock back and say, oh, well, if the universe had to start again in a different way, would it be the way it is? This is not the way to look at it.
No, in order for the universe to be the way it is, in order for it to be a universe, there are certain things. For example, when the Big Bang took place, right, there was a certain amount of force that had to be in place for that. If it was too big, right, it would have expanded too quickly.
Yes, I'm aware of all of that, yeah.
And if it was too small, it would have just collapsed in of itself.
Yeah.
Right. So just from that get-go, you have to get that right. Then after that, there's so many other factors that you just have to keep getting right until this Earth is formed. And even while this Earth is here in place, there's other factors that you have to get right. For example, our atmosphere is 7 layers, right? That keep out the harmful rays of the sun and other cosmic rays, right? Without those 7 layers, there wouldn't be any life on this planet.
Let me just check something. Do you think that this Earth was created by God in its form like it is?
No, it's created in stages to come to this.
You know how the solar system is formed, don't you? Through accretion. The spinning, it's called accretion, the spinning of material that comes together.
There's a good point about that actually. So for example, the same is said about stars, right? So like stars are formed through material coming together.
Clumping together, yes, yeah. And
but
gravity
that
taking
is-
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that is utter science fiction.
Right.
The reason why
What is the cause of stars?
One minute, we'll get to that. But I'll tell you what's wrong with this, right? The fact is that when these debris starts coming together, there's heat generated and energy, and as soon as it starts coming together, the forces that are generated at that point disperse it at a greater strength than the forces that are pulling it together.
What do you mean it? Pulling what together?
The debris. So there's excretion taking place, right? Debris is coming together, right? At that point, there's forces and heat generated when everything is circulating around each other and it's sliding up together. That force and heat generated is far greater than the forces pulling it together, and that causes it to disperse.
And do what?
And not form a star.
Okay, so how does a star form in your world?
That is a different question.
Well, I'm asking you.
But I'm saying that the current understanding about how stars are formed, right, is pure speculation, right, and that doesn't stand up to.
I'm not sure that's the
That
case.
is true. Believe me, you can go ahead and do some research.
Right, I'll do that. I'll do that because I don't think you.
Because I did my research on that, and that is pure speculation.
All right, let's assume you're right. How did stars form?
I can say why they formed. I can say why they formed.
Why are they formed? Why did they form?
It was the will of Allah.
Okay,
Why?
see,
Why? No. Why? Listen. Why?
You just
No. I tell you what this is. This isn't. It might come out like, oh, it's a cop out and stuff, but there's two very distinct questions: the how and the why. The how, I'm telling you, I have no idea. Right? It could be that debris came together, whatever.
Do you think cosmology knows how the stars got together, or you think they have no clue?
No, they don't.
Okay, are you a cosmologist? But you've done some study. I've read it. I've read into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I looked into it myself as well, right? Because this was a topic that
so
came up about
I just
a
want to
year
make sure for the video you claim that cosmologists, nobody on the human race understands how stars form. We have no idea.
No, they've got a theory about it, but it doesn't stand up to scrutiny, and even they admit that, right? The forces that are generated at that moment when everything's clumping up together, right, is far greater than the forces that are pulling it together. Therefore, it disperses. No,
That goes counter to everything we know. But okay.
I know it does,
Yeah.
but they admit that, and they go, wait, that's a huge.
Who's
hole
they?
in
Who's they?
When I was looking into this, it was some scientist, someplace. This is about a year ago. The conversation turned up, but yeah, coming back.
Okay,
to,
but
like,
I'm gonna assume you are correct. I don't think so, but let's assume you're correct. So we don't know how.
Yeah.
But you want to give a why.
I tell you what, a person of religion always has an all-encompassing why, because God is the ultimate truth.
You see,
From a theist perspective, right? Now, another form of why can be, right? Like I'll give you the very short version. Like, oh, God wanted it to have. Another form can be that God wanted us to have light, right? And God wanted it to be external to the earth and such, right? And so God made the sun, God made the star, right? I mean, the why is completely outside the realm of science, right? Anyone can turn up with a why. Theists just have an all-encompassing why when they end up saying that, yeah, God will do it. That in no way diminishes the how, right? And it doesn't even begin to address the how, just like the how doesn't begin to address the why.
do you see the problem with that though or not?
Can you outline it for me?
Sure. When you give me a why, like I said to you before, number one, you're inferring there's a why. Number two, you're just asserting it. You're not justifying it anyway. Because I could say to you, the yellow quantum whisperer created it because he was destined to do so. Or a better example, the 10th dimension. So I can give you a why without justification.
I like that very much. Right? Now, when you say the yellow quantum whatever, right? Does anyone else make this claim? Do you have this claim written in?
Does it matter how many people make the claim?
Right? Because when I say, like, for example, any theist, like I'm Muslim, so when I say and I speak about Allah and such, right? There's a whole, not a whole people, but like there's a vast amount of information and history that's backing up when I say, oh, Allah will do it to me, right?
No, there's no history. And on that claim, there's nothing.
I tell you what. There's theist history, right? There's history. Look, science means like the understanding of knowledge or the acquiring of knowledge.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Now, if you look at science with that understanding, you automatically say, wait, even theist books are knowledge. Even theist books are part of science in that sense. So when it comes down to addressing why, I mean that is a big factor.
Yeah, but you seem to still miss what I say, is that you're inferring a why. We're not at the stage where we are confident enough to say there is a why, because a why suggests what? A conscious entity of some kind. We're not at that stage yet, so you're automatically jumping the gun by inferring a why, but number two, you're asserting it.
Okay, so it comes down to this. Either there was a conscious entity or there wasn't.
Correct.
So are you saying there wasn't?
I don't know.
No, I'm asking you.
No, so I don't know. There could be, and I've got an explanation. But here's the thing
quite
for you.
interested in
Yeah.
that. Now, if you could put that forward.
Okay, but we can do that in a minute. What I want to get across to you is the often assertion that religious people make that is false, and that is, if I can't give you an explanation and you've got one, then we have to take yours. So this is a false analogy. I know you're not doing that, but a lot of people do. They go, hey, you don't have an answer, I have a God answer, therefore my answer is correct. Now I know you seem to be a guy that has some knowledge in science. I'm sure you'd agree that's a fallacy basically.
It's not a good stance to have in terms of, especially when you're trying to understand.
It's not an explanation to posit something without justification.
Absolutely.
Correct. So essentially we're in the same position. You claim there's a God, you claim there's evidence for it. More important, you claim that there's evidence to support the claim that God created the universe. And I'm saying, where's the evidence for that? Because none of us were there. We've got no evidence of that. We can't even predict that in a scientific model.
Your position is quite skeptical.
Very much, yes.
Yeah, skeptics are one of the hardest people to talk with because
Okay. I have got an answer for you, like I say, if you'd like to hear it.
I'd like to hear
One of the hypotheses that seems what's the word? Quite possible is the quantum vacuum. We don't have evidence that it's the answer, but a lot of the hypotheses point towards that as a possible solution. So, in my humble opinion, that's perhaps on a slightly, even in a way, better place than a God, because we can put a model and we can test and we can falsify. How do we falsify God?
Well, you can falsify it. Okay, the thing about God is, right, it's almost like the knock-knock joke, right? In the sense, when someone says knock-knock, you always have to say who, right? After you say who, you're dependent upon whatever information is given to you.
Correct, but I'm saying to you who is the wrong question. Yeah.
Just like that. When you're saying is how do we bring out the evidence for God and such, right? It's whatever evidence God gave us.
No, I was specific on my question. I said, how do we get evidence for God creating the universe? That particular claim, because that's the claim you made.
Whatever evidence God gave us is what I'm saying. Our who in this point is like saying, okay, so we're saying what evidence is that God created the universe, right? The answer would still come from God. Like if you say knock knock and I say who, the answer will still come from you.
Yeah, but we can understand it surely, and we'll be able to evaluate that. Yeah.
Right?
That's
So-
what I'm asking for. That bit.
Okay, for me personally, there's an ayat in the Quran that eloquently says that everything, that the entire universe was together, right? And that Allah used great strength and great power to cast it asunder and cause an explosion. From that, the universe took place, and then from that, eventually.
I'd be careful with that verse, because what it really says is that the heavens and the earth were split asunder. Now we can't infer that was a universe, so we can't go there. No.
I tell you what. The heavens is everything you see in the sky.
That's not what the ancients used to think. You are now inferring something
now
different.
You're inferring what the ancients used
Yes,
to
because
say.
that's what the
Ancients who?
the people at the time and
The
before.
people at the time.
Correct.
Of Arabia.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
they
didn't
had
get
seven
that.
heavens,
We did
they had
it.
an earth,
Yeah,
etc.
seven
Yeah.
heavens and earth.
Correct.
It's fine. Heavens is everything outside that you see.
If we look at the diagrams that I've seen of the seventh heavens, they don't show it like
I
the
don't even know
universe.
what source you got that from. Bro, like,
Do I need to bring it up? Have you not seen the diagrams and the explanations of the seven heavens, where some of the heavens are outside of our awareness
I know, okay.
even? Yeah.
There is an explanation that I know about the seven heavens, right? There's a hadith that says that talks about the vastness and the sizes of these heavens. So it says that this universe and everything that is contained inside it is that of the size of a ring within a desert, right? And the heaven outside of that, everything that is contained inside that, and it itself is the size of a ring within the desert, and that carries on until it gets to the seventh one.
See, I speak to a lot of people because I come quite regularly, and I'm fine if you want to use that allegorically. In other words, it's like a metaphor. But the moment you try and bring that in as a defense for reality, that's where it becomes.
The seven heavens and such. You're talking about a diagram. This is my understanding.
Yes, because you brought that up as a quote evidence
No,
for.
whatever is my understanding.
Yeah, no, but you originally brought that up as evidence for God creating the universe.
The
Yeah.
first in question is from my understanding, it says that everything was together, right, and then they were split asunder, and then from that the heavens and the universe as we see it, and then earth came about.
Yeah, I think you're inferring more in there than the verse actually says there.
I'm honestly Obviously not. Like I said, I like to think things in a very simple way, right? It literally says everything was one, right? And that got split asunder, and that Allah did it with a lot of strength and power.
Okay, but then you said extra things about that.
No. The extra things is what we see now. I mean, it's talking about the creation of the universe, right? So if everything is one, and then it got split asunder, and then obviously from there you got the Big Bang, for example, says it, right? Everything exploded. And eventually, stars were formed, planets were formed, civilizations came about.
Rolling along.
Okay, so if we look at the inflationary model of cosmology, that's the current model, isn't it? The one where the universe expanded, commonly called the Big Bang, scientifically called the inflationary model. What we see is something very dense and expanded very quickly.
They say infinitely dense.
Yeah, it's kind of a play on words. Yeah. You are now equating that with the seven heavens and the earth, because that was the verse says.
It's not illogical to say that the thing that the universe is made from would be the same thing that the heaven that the next heaven is made from and the third heaven is made from. That's not illogical to say that, right?
No, I'm not saying it's illogical to say that the constituent parts are the same. What I'm saying is that you are inferring a lot more by using that verse and trying to match it to inflationary cosmology. That's what I'm saying.
I'm being long-winded about it.
No, but you can't do a short version. Is my
The short version
view.
is the verse itself.
Yeah, I know the verse. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the short version itself. I'm being a bit long-winded about it, but that's not me saying that I'm inferring things. That's just me saying, fine. The logical conclusion is the universe came about of it.
Maybe.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Just don't infer that, because that's not. It doesn't match science. So our inflationary model of cosmology does not match the seven heavens and the earth being split asunder. You have to do a lot of tap dancing.
Conversation though. That verse just says that the universe and the earth was together, right? In a singularity, basically, right? And from there it was split asunder.
You've now used the word singularity. That's not in the Quran, is it? Yes, I know you. You are now adding extra words to make it sound scientific.
No. I'm trying to contextualize it, right? It said that it was together. Together meaning one single unit, hence a singularity. It on itself not composed of anything else. So you getting it?
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with that. I think we're on a very different path. You want to assume that says cosmology. Let's get back to the original question, which was, that's your evidence for God creating the universe. Now I bring you the Bhagavad Gita, which says it happened with turtles. We're still not at an evidence point. There's a book making a claim. There's another book. Yeah, it's on the back of turtles. So turtle. You know, one of the religions says there's a turtle. We're on the back of another turtle, etc. So we've got two claims. How do we establish it? Because all the Quran is a claim. It's not evidence, is it? It's just something that's been said. So we have to kind of work out, well, how do we differentiate that from the Bhagavad Gita or whatever the Indian version is that claims turtles? How do we find out which one is true? So you've made a claim. So all I'm trying to get to is here, the Quran isn't evidence, it's a claim. As long as you can differentiate that, then we're okay.
It is a claim which people look at with a rational mind.
So you look at a claim, but you need something else, because otherwise somebody else brings a rival claim, and now what do? Now we've got two claims, how do we establish it?
So you're talking about the methodology between finding out which one is more truthful than the other?
Correct, yes. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I've actually from my understanding, that the verse that we just spoke about is well, actually just the other way around. The scientific findings of the 20th century are more in line with that verse than any other claim about the origins of the universe.
Okay, that's where we profoundly disagree. I don't think we'll get further.
No, I understand that there's a disagreement, but why, what do you think is wrong with it?
Because you are.
Okay, the verse says everything was together in one point.
Show me. Have you got your mobile phone? Take your time. Show me the verse. Maybe I'm thinking about the other verse. I'm thinking about the verse where they were split asunder. The heavens and the earth were split asunder.
It's the same. It says it just before that.
Okay. So at the time of the universe, there was no earth. There was no earth, was there?
No, of course not.
No. So that part of the claim we can get rid of. What we can say is that there were particles that expanded very rapidly. So you're trying to match the two together.
When they say that the earth and the heavens was one, that is understandable. It wasn't in this state that it was one. It has to be a completely different state for it to be one.
Okay, but using that logic, then I can say exactly this: that Adam was created at the beginning of the universe. Would you accept that?
How do you say that?
Because I'm using the same argument you are. You are reducing the earth and the heavens down to its constituent parts, which are particles, and you're saying, oh well, the particles created the earth. I'm saying the same thing with Adam.
Okay, 1 minute.
So we've got a problem.
Yeah, if the most likely they did. So if the particles that came from if the particles that made Adam came from that singularity, then yes.
Okay, so then we have to change that verse in the Quran, which then we need to make it more accurate.
No.
Yes, we do.
Talking about the creation of the universe, not about the creation of Adam. The creation of Adam is dealt with long before in the previous.
I know, but what you are failing to seem to grasp is that if you want to use the argument that the heavens and the earth are made of particles and that's how we can match it to science, then I'm saying we need to use the same logical argument for everything else that was created.
Are you saying
I was created at the beginning of the universe, so were you, everybody.
Humans, right? What I'm trying to say. We're like 80% water, like the other guy was saying, right? Everything that we're formed of comes from the earth anyway, right?
Comes from the earth, yeah. Or the universe, whatever you want to use.
Okay, so that's what it follows on to. So we come from the earth comes from the universe, and everything was together.
Correct.
Right, so yeah, in that case you're right as well.
Yes, but the verse isn't. So
it's quite encompassing in terms of the earth as in everything that is on the earth and the earth itself.
Yeah, but then you've
and everything in the heavens that we can see and observe, right, will all come together.
Yeah, but then you've made my point for me.
And then you've made the same point that is stated in the Quran. No, 1 minute. You said that if I can go ahead and say that the earth, in some form or the other, was joined to the heavens, then that is to say that Adam was the same.
Correct.
Right? And
then we have to change the verse because the verse is
because it says that the earth.
Now, what is the verse about?
On the earth.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're missing it completely. You're missing it completely.
Okay, when it says the earth, what do you think it means? It means just the trees?
No. What I'm saying,
it means just the oceans. Okay, it includes the people as well, right? When it says the earth.
Yes, but that's a separate point. You're missing the original thing. Your claim is that when the heavens and the earth were split asunder, that is analogous, or it's the same as saying the universe came about through the Big Bang. I'm saying it's not the same. And the only way you can make it the same is to reduce the earth and the heavens down to particles. If you do that, then I can say to you, you must say that Adam came from the beginning. If you say that, then we have to change the verse in the Quran that says...
No, we don't, because it's encompassing. It clearly says that the earth and the heavens is encompassing everything on this earth and everything outside of this earth, right? And uniting it into one singularity.
Yeah, I think you're missing it. You're equivocating and you're not noticing
You're trying to differentiate when there clearly isn't a difference.
If I'm going to use your logic, we have to be consistent.
No, I'm agreeing with you, right?
No, but then you make my point. You can't claim either one of two things.
Okay, do you know how Adam was created, Islamically speaking?
Through a clot of blood and through clay?
No.
Okay, how was it?
That's what it was.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know where that clay was taken from?
From the earth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what the verse should say is that he was created at the beginning of the universe. To use your logic.
Created at the beginning of the universe. That is a different instance of entirely. We're talking about the creation of the universe, not the creation of Adam.
I know that's not my point, my friend.
That is your point because you're saying that when the universe was created, then Adam was created.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Listen to me, don't cut me off. Listen to me and I'll explain it better. You say that the splitting of the heavens and the earth is the same as the inflationary model of the universe, the Big Bang. You're saying the two are the same. You're saying that the verse tells us that it's the same thing, therefore we should believe it.
It looks quite simple.
And your reason for that, the reason that you come down to is going, well, they're all made of the same stuff, which is atoms. Is that correct? Because there was no earth. So at the beginning of the universe, there was particles. They expanded out, they became hot, eventually they condensed, etc. Yes, so there were no earth. The earth is 4.6 billion, the universe is 30. So the earth came a long time after the universe. So even on that point, you've kind of conceded that the earth was not created at the time of the universe.
Oh, I didn't say it was created, and this is not saying it either.
What is the splitting asunder of the heavens and the earth mean to you?
An explosion.
Okay, so, but there was no earth. So why was it not just that the heavens expanded rapidly at a point in the past? That would be an accurate description, would you agree? More accurate than what it says.
1 minute. Now that means you're accepting that the verse does talk, does in one form or the other refer to the explosion of a singularity.
No, what I'm saying is, in order to make it accurate the way you are attempting to do, you have to reword the verse.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No, you don't.
If you don't, let's run with your example. If you don't, you say the heavens and the earth expanded were split asunder, and that equivocates to the universe expanding.
Everything we see around us, right, came.
Okay, but just answer that question.
Everything that we see came from the Big Bang, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when it says that the Earth came from the Big Bang, is that wrong?
Yes.
No. If the Big Bang didn't take place, there would be no Earth, right?
Correct.
Okay. So
Where did the Earth come from? When we ask the question, where did the Earth come? What do we mean?
Are you talking about how it's created?
I'm asking you. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the cosmological.
If you ask any normal human being, where did the Earth come from? They're not going to say to you from the Big Bang, are they? They're going to say to you it came from particles that were made up from our solar system.
Where did the universe come from?
That's a different question.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, right? So what that verse does is it eloquently puts everything that we see, right, in your mindset, and it says all of this, right, came from a Big Bang.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
That's my whole point.
It says the earth and the heavens.
Okay, so why did it not say the sun and the stars, etc., etc.?
No. In the same, when it says the heavens, it's encompassing everything you see in the sky.
Right, that's an easy way to get out of it.
But that's the truth. The heavens. What is the heavens? Is the heaven underground? No, heaven is up there.
All right.
So whenever they talk about heaven, it's referring to the sky and everything you see within space.
Yeah, I think you've missed it, because when you reduced it down to particles, and I said you fine, we'll use your logic of particles.
Then Adam comes from the same, because everything.
So Adam was created from the universe, from the beginning of the time.
No, the creation of Adam took place in heaven separately. The substance that Adam was created from, right, came from Earth, right. That Earth was created with a debris. That debris was part of a Big Bang that took place.
That's correct. But you are equivocating on the two.
One minute. The way that the Quran says it, right, it gives you the general, the broader picture, right, putting everything together as one and saying that came from the Big Bang. The reason why it does that is we have a deeper understanding of the creation now than the Arabs had at the time. So this verse held true even with a small amount of information as well as a vast amount of information.
Only a theist in your position can accept that.
No, only a person that's a skeptic like you will say no, it's that. I mean,
we've had a long conversation, and that's your summary of my position. Is that, and that?
No, my summary of your position is that you're trying to play around with words.
All right, here's one way to see if we understand each other. Summarize my position, I'll summarize yours. Let's see who's accurate. If I summarize your position accurately, you should be able to say, yes, Rob, and what you've said is true. See if you can do the same for me. Try and summarize my position. Let me do yours first so you understand. So your position is that the heavens and the earth were split asunder, yes? And that is analogous to the Big Bang Theory. And your reason for saying that, let me finish and then you can tell me where I've gone wrong. Your reason for saying that the heavens and the earth splitting asunder is the same as the Big Bang Theory is because we can reduce the heavens and the earth down to its particles. And when we look at the particles, then we can tell, okay, well, the particles are the things that expanded from the universe. Would that be accurate?
Okay. Yeah, everything that we see has come from the Big Bang.
Which is particles, yes.
Yeah, so
okay, summarize my position. What do you think I'm saying?
What I've gathered, you're saying that the Quran is not, that verse is not accurate enough. It should also include this, it should also include that.
That's a very small part of what I've said. I've explained a lot of stuff that seems to you have missed. Okay. We'll do it one more time just to see. You say the heavens and the earth were split asunder?
What do you say?
Right. I say that verse does not match the inflationary model of the cosmos. Because the inflationary model says that there was a dense thing and that suddenly it expanded incredibly fast, heat, etc., etc.
So when the verse says this, right, everything that we can observe and see, which is the known universe, right, was together as one.
No, you're not giving me your interpretation of the verse. Read the verse, don't interpret it, because then you sound very scientific.
When it says earth and heaven, what do you understand from it?
I understand there's a physical planet and then there's a heaven, which is the blue sky that we look at.
Okay, see, that's where you're wrong. Because when it says earth, it's encompassing everything that's on the planet, humans, water,
that's what I say, the planet.
1 minute. Then the heavens is not just the sky. The heavens is everything you can see in the sky. The sun, which is stars, other planets, the debris, everything.
Well, they couldn't see galaxies, could they? So they wouldn't have included
that. But we can.
So correct. That's right. Okay. Which means they didn't know that.
They didn't know that, but
if there was an all-powerful God, he would have known that.
What they saw was enough to say, yeah, everything out there is the heavens. They didn't have the finer details.
Okay, but then you are on my side of the argument. correct. Because what you're saying is that the people at the time knew very little. And I'm with you, they knew very
Which is
little.
why I'm saying that the verse, it holds true in both.
You are claiming that verse came from the Almighty, not from people who knew nothing about the revolution of the planet
But
and
the verse-
germ theory,
the verse
etc.
caters for both kinds. That's why Muslims say that the Quran is timeless. Because
Was the verse dictated from the all-powerful Creator, or was it brought into being by a man?
But the verse.
The verse. What did that verse come from Allah, or did it come from Muhammad or somebody
The
else?
verse originated from Allah.
Okay, so is Allah all-powerful and all-knowing? So he would have known about galaxies and everything else that we know today. That's not mentioned in anything. Even you admit that.
No.
So
And there's a reason for that. Because
they didn't know. Yeah,
people didn't know.
correct. And Allah didn't know or didn't tell them.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his wisdom, from what I can infer, has eloquently put aside that everything you see in the heavens and in the earth was together as one.
You are now giving me your interpretation of the verse.
That's the literal
And then when I
meaning.
ask you,
everything you see is one. The heavens and the earth. Heavens and the earth is everything you see in the known universe, right? The space. Let me put it in words that you understand. Planet Earth, right, and space. So does that help? Planet Earth and space is together as one in a singularity. It's another translation.
yeah, my friend. Okay, I think we, as far as we can get, I don't think we're going to get any further. I think